yourselves!
Don Cheadle was a very good mentor and encouraged me actually to turn down one of the first roles I was offered because it was a little too big for me at the time, a little too flashy, and it wasn't going to put me on the path to where I wanted to be, which was a character lead.
Brian White at 49, finally speaking out now and confirmed awful rumors. What awful rumors has he confirmed? For years, people have said negative things about him, but why did he wait so long to address them?
What do you make of the rumors and allegations against your husband, Mayor Lancaster?
Does this mean he's been keeping secrets? What made him decide to share the truth now? Let's take a look at Brian White's story and the rumors he's finally clearing up.
What is it you're most passionate about? What really drives you?
Philanthropy, people.
Brian White's life didn't plan to become an actor. In fact, he started out in a completely different field. Born on April 21st, 1975, in Boston, Massachusetts. He was the oldest of 5 kids, and having a big family came with its challenges.
I'm from a big family. I'm the eldest of 6. I have 5 beautiful, talented, intelligent younger sisters, and we were raised in a philanthropic household. Giving back was paramount.
His father, JoJo White, was a famous NBA Hall of Famer who helped the Boston Celtics win multiple championships. With such a successful dad, it seemed like Brian would follow in his footsteps and become a professional athlete. But that's not what happened.
My dad's an athlete, my stepmother's an athlete, professional, and in the sports world, everybody starts with a charity from day one.
Brian, during a recent interview, speaks fondly of his mother, saying she was the authoritarian figure at home. While his father, a former Boston Celtics player, was often on the road, his mother was the one who took charge of things at home. She was the nurturer and the person who made things happen in their family. Brian credits her for teaching him the value of hard work and believing in himself. Brian's academic journey took him to Dartmouth College, where he studied political science, psychology, and theater. It was during his time at Dartmouth that he realized he could take his sports career to the next level. He had always been athletic, but at Dartmouth he learned to balance both academics and sports. While he was there, he played football and lacrosse and realized that education had to come first. His mom and dad both taught him that, and he also got advice from Red Auerbach, who told him that if he was good enough at sports, opportunities would come no matter where he was. Brian had big dreams of playing in the NFL with the New England Patriots, as well as playing lacrosse for the Boston Blazers. He thought he would be like Bo Jackson, who played both baseball and football, but then an injury changed his path. He tore his hamstring, and despite trying to recover, the injury wouldn't heal. He ended up going to play in NFL Europe, but the injury happened again. This led him to try something completely different, Wall Street. He studied hard, passed some exams, and started working in finance. But he didn't feel passionate about it. He said that Wall Street didn't excite him like football did. He knew he had to find something he loved, something he was passionate about.
It can be very disparate, but I've been very blessed to work on several top-notch TV shows, currently Men of a Certain Age, and it feels similar, very similar to a film.
The big question was, could he take a risk and go after his dream of acting? Spoiler alert, he did. In the 90s, Ryan made his move to Hollywood, but the road wasn't smooth at first. Like most new actors in Tinseltown, he had to put in the hard work. His first role was a small part on Moshe, a popular UPN show with Brandy Norwood. It wasn't a big role, but it was enough to get his foot in the door. It's like when you're starting a new job. Sometimes it's not the dream position, but it gets you started. From there, Ryan worked on guest roles in shows like The Parkers and The Shield, but like with most careers, things weren't always smooth. There were rumors that Ryan didn't get along with one of the directors on The Shield. Some say there were creative differences, and Ryan's exit from the show was quick, leaving fans wondering what happened. In Hollywood, this sort of drama is common, but Ryan didn't let it stop him. He kept his eyes on the bigger picture, knowing that a success doesn't come easy. It's like sports, he said. You don't put in the work, you don't get the results. Ryan was determined, and it paid off. By 2007, he had a breakthrough role in the movie Stomp the Yard. This was the movie that really put him on the map. Ryan's performance showed off his ability to play both charming and intense roles. Fans loved him, especially the ladies.
Reveal yourselves!
His career was on the rise, but he wasn't done yet. Ryan's next big move came when he landed a role alongside Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in 2007. He played a professional football player, a role that allowed him to show off his comedic side and athletic skills. Ryan was proving that he could do more than just one type of role. It was around this time that offers started coming in from everywhere. Ryan was becoming a big name in Hollywood. He also got a chance to work with Tyler Perry in the 2009 film I Can Do Bad All by Myself. Here, Ryan shared the screen with Taraji P. Henson, and his performance was praised for bringing real emotion to a character that could have been very one-dimensional. Brian was no longer just a pretty face in Hollywood. He was proving himself to be a serious actor, but things weren't always perfect behind the scenes. Rumors started to spread that Brian didn't always get along with Perry on set. Some people said they had creative differences, while others suggested that Perry's hands-on approach didn't match well with Brian's wish for more freedom. But no one ever confirmed these rumors. Despite the whispers, Brian kept things professional and maintained a good working relationship with the famous producer. Another moment of drama came when he appeared on the popular TV show Scandal. He played Olivia Pope's love interest, and fans loved seeing him on screen. But suddenly, his character disappeared. People started talking, wondering why he was no longer on the show. Some said it was because of disagreements with the show's creators. Others thought his role was meant to last longer. Brian never spoke publicly about why he left the show, and that silence only made people talk more. Another time during the production of the TV show Ambitions in 2019, rumors started swirling again.
What do you make of the rumors and allegations against your husband, Mayor Lancaster?
People on set said there were tensions between Brian and his co-stars, especially with his on-screen love interest. It was said that there were some heated moments off camera. But in Hollywood, it can be hard to know what's true and what's just gossip. Sometimes the drama is exaggerated, and it's not always easy to separate fact from fiction. Despite the rumors and drama, Brian didn't let anything stop him. By 2019, he was still proving he had staying power in the industry. He landed a big role in Ambitions, a juicy soap opera on the OWN network. In the show, he played Evan Lancaster, a corrupt mayor in Atlanta. His character was tough and not afraid to get his hands dirty. People loved watching Brian in this role, and it was clear that he could handle anything Hollywood threw his way.
You have to stand on your principles. You have to maintain your own personal integrity to, attract and find those kind of roles. And that's what I set out to do. Don Cheadle was a very good mentor and encouraged me actually to turn down one of the first roles I was offered because it was a little too big for me at the time, a little too flashy, and it wasn't going to put me on the path to where I wanted to be, which was a character lead.
At the same time, Brian continued to make appearances in popular TV dramas like Chicago Fire, SEAL Team, and The Rookie. He had real acting skills, and he could play all sorts of roles, from romantic leads to tough action heroes. But Brian is also careful about the roles he chooses. He wants to avoid being typecast, meaning he doesn't want to play the same type of character over and over. As an artist, he likes to push his boundaries and take on new challenges. He also looks for roles that have a positive social message. However, he pointed out that finding those roles in Hollywood isn't always easy. He has to stick to his principles and stay true to himself. For example, he was once advised by actor Don Cheadle to turn down a flashy role because it wouldn't help him grow as an actor or put him on the path he wanted. Brian wants to be like actors he admires, such as Johnny Depp, Don Cheadle, and Denzel Washington. Also, Brian's personal life wasn't always as perfect as it seemed. One of the biggest challenges he faced was living in the shadow of his dad, JoJo White, a sports legend. From a young age, Brian was around basketball courts, watching his dad play, and even signing autographs for fans. Growing up with a father like JoJo wasn't easy.
JoJo White gets it on the run. He's got a 2-on-1. Mullins in the lane, the defender. White past him, lays it in.
Brian often heard people talk about his father's qualities. "Your dad is a man of integrity," they would say. "He dresses well, speaks well, and gives back to the community." These were the things that young Brian looked up to, not just his father's fame as a basketball player. He admired his father's character and tried to live up to that example.
JoJo White takes the pass from Westfall and Boston ran him right in the ground.
In interviews, Brian has shared that the pressure of living up to his dad's success was heavy. Whether it was in sports or in Hollywood, Brian always felt the weight of trying to make his family proud. The expectations were high, and it wasn't always easy to handle. Then in 2018, Brian faced a major tragedy. His father, JoJo White, passed away after a long battle with cancer. For Brian, this was a huge loss, not just of his father, but of his role model. JoJo White was a legend in basketball, a Hall of Famer, and someone Brian looked up to his whole life. The death of such an important figure in his life was deeply emotional for him. JoJo White's passing was also complicated by his health struggles. He had battled pneumonia and dementia, which was caused by the removal of a benign brain tumor in 2010. The loss was not just personal, but also public, as JoJo had been a well-loved figure, especially with the Boston Celtics. Losing his father was heartbreaking for Brian, but it also became a source of motivation. White recently sparked controversy with comments he made about racial stereotypes in Hollywood. In an interview, he suggested that Black women sometimes help keep negative stereotypes alive. He said that some women on reality TV, like Nene Leakes, play into these stereotypes.
You said you have never seen me walk away from a fight. Have you ever seen me in a fight? If I left the restaurant, listen, let me just say this.
Yes.
So you want to see me in a fight? Is that what it is?
Don't try to put it on like, don't try to make it seem like I want to see you in a fight.
Because
This led to a lot of criticism, as many people felt his comments ignored the deeper, systemic issues that shape how Black people, especially Black women, are portrayed in the media. White's statements about race and gender have often been controversial. While he might not have meant to upset anyone, his views have caused debates. Some people think he oversimplifies complex problems, especially when he talks about the pressures Black men and women face. His comments on social media and in interviews seem to ignore the bigger picture and sometimes come off as out of touch with the struggles many people face in Hollywood. One of the most heated parts of his interview came when he mentioned reality TV shows like Love and Hip Hop and The Real Housewives of Atlanta. He said that the characters women like Nene Leakes play on TV are the most popular images of Black women right now. He pointed out that when people watch these shows, they're supporting the stereotypes they see, making it harder to change how Black people are represented in the media. White also argued that the character Tasha from Why Did I Get Married, played by Jill Scott, became the most popular character because she was similar to the types of women seen on reality TV.
I'm telling you, Marcus, if she looks at me one more time cross-eyed, I'm gonna gut her like a fish.
According to White, this is what people are tuning into, and it reflects the kind of image the media likes to show. He even said that when people complain about these stereotypes, they are being hypocritical because they still watch the shows that promote them. Nene Leakes, who was mentioned in White's comments, quickly responded. She tweeted that the shows White was talking about were different from her show, The Real Housewives of Atlanta. She disagreed with White's comparison and defended her own work. Nene also pointed out that some actors get upset when reality stars like her get roles in Hollywood, even though casting directors are the ones who choose the actors for the job. After the interview, White tried to explain himself, saying that his words were taken out of context. He tweeted that he was disappointed with how the writer twisted his words and made it seem like he had said something he didn't mean. But despite his attempt to clarify, Nene didn't back down. She continued to defend herself and pointed out that reality TV and scripted acting are two different things. So was White's comment misunderstood? It's possible that he didn't mean to be so harsh, but his words did sound dismissive of the deeper issues affecting how Black women are seen in Hollywood. While White might have been trying to discuss the role of stereotypes in TV, many felt that he didn't fully consider how harmful these stereotypes can be, especially when it comes to race and gender.
What is it you're most passionate about? What really drives you?
Philanthropy, people.
During an interview section, Brian was asked about his biggest passion. He didn't hesitate to say, it's philanthropy. Growing up in a big family with 5 sisters, he was taught the importance of giving back. He said giving back was paramount, and this lesson stuck with him throughout his life. Brian's dad and stepmom always had a charity to support. Now Brian enjoys helping younger people succeed, using his knowledge and experiences to pull them up with him. Growing up as the oldest of 5 sisters in Boston, Brian learned a lot about communication. He credits his ability to express himself clearly to being raised in a household with so many strong, smart women. He believes that women in general are better at communicating their feelings and ideas than men. and this helped him develop his own skills in speaking and understanding others. Brian also shared some of his thoughts about politics, racism, and racial challenges. He talked about how different America was back when older actors like Danny Glover experienced racism and racial challenges. He said he never had to go through that kind of treatment. One moment that stands out for him happened when he was in Boston shooting the movie The Game Plan. He was with two drivers, one Irish and one Italian. They were talking about Deval Patrick, an African-American man who had become the governor of Massachusetts. Brian was amazed by the kindness and respect people were showing towards him. He was in South Boston, an area that was known for not being so welcoming to people of his race. But there, people were talking about Deval Patrick's politics and his work, not about the color of his skin. It made Brian feel hopeful that things were changing for the better. Brian also gave his stance about politics. He talked about how the election of Barack Obama as president was a big moment in history, especially for older generations who had never thought they'd see a black president. He had tears in his eyes when Obama won because he knew it was a big step forward for America. Brian worked on Obama's campaign and was excited about the changes he hoped would come. He believes that in today's world, with the internet and social media, people need to come together, no matter their background, to make things better. While working on Obama's campaign, Brian also realized he had an interest in politics. He said that Clinton, the former president, had inspired him when he spoke at his graduation. But it was Obama's message and how he spoke directly to people like Brian that really made him want to get involved. Obama's background, his experiences, and his views on important issues made Brian feel that this was the right time for a change. When it comes to politics, Brian says he doesn't believe in parties. He believes in people. He admires leaders like Kamala Harris and Cory Booker and focuses on helping candidates he respects.
Being greater than means rising above. Education beats fear every time, so the more we can reach out to people and let them know that they are empowered. If they get their status, they'll want to get that status. So
White is more than just an actor. He's a man on a mission. He's part of the Greater Than AIDS movement, which is all about rising above fear through education. Brian believes that knowledge is power. By educating people about AIDS and encouraging them to get tested, he says we can fight the stigma. This isn't a death sentence anymore, he shares. The more people know, the more empowered they feel.
It's a grassroots movement to spread education and awareness that, this isn't a death sentence.
Brian also made waves in the entertainment industry when he finally got his first big nomination. At 49 years old, it might feel a little late, but hey, better late than never, right? When asked how it felt, Brian said, "Very honored, very special." What made it even better was his behind-the-scenes role as a producer. He helped shape the creative direction of the project, making this recognition even more meaningful to him. But Brian's biggest passion is creating social change. As the oldest of 6 children and now a father, he's always been a role model. He's committed to projects and causes that make a difference, like his nonprofit, Black Legacy. This organization is especially close to his heart because of his daughter. Brian wants her to grow up proud of her roots and know the stories of people who came before her. Brian has been married to Paula da Silva since 2010. Paula is of Portuguese descent, and the couple has been very private about their life together. While Brian is in the spotlight, they've managed to keep their marriage out of the gossip columns for the most part. They have a beautiful daughter named Lila and focus on raising her away from the flashy world of Hollywood. Sure, there have been a few rumors here and there, but that happens to anyone in the public eye. Through it all, Brian and Paula have stayed committed to each other, proving that love can thrive even in Hollywood. Speaking of his daughter, it seems she's already catching the performance bug. At just 5 years old, she loves singing, dancing, and watching inspiring videos of Debbie Allen, and Sheila E. Bryan supports her interests, starting with dance classes in jazz, hip-hop, and ballet. Brian is still going strong in his career. His latest projects include shows like Foster's Law, The Black Hamptons, Criminal Minds, and the addictive series Monogamy. If you haven't heard of Monogamy, it's about couples who swap partners to fix their relationships. Yes, it's as wild as it sounds. Brian plays Dallas, a man struggling with loyalty, temptation, and self-discovery. Fans and critics have been loving his performance. Brian has built a strong career over the years. His net worth is estimated to be around $3 million. Not bad for someone who once worked in a stockbroker's office. He's also a big supporter of youth empowerment programs, helping young people chase their dreams. Brian believes in lifting others up as he climbs the ladder of success, and that's something to admire. Brian White is the full package. He's talented, charming, and always pushing forward. With his acting, producing, and community work, there's no doubt he's someone to keep an eye on. And if the gossip keeps coming, it just shows he's making waves. So what's next for Brian? Whatever it is, we're all here for it. His story isn't over, and we can't wait to see what's ahead.